Hey there, homeschool friends. This is Carrie with Any Day Blessings, and on this channel, it's all things homeschool. I like to show you flip-throughs of the curriculum that we're using. I like to show you hands-on products and activities that we do, day-in-the-life lessons, homeschool storage and organization tips, lesson planning, you name it. If it has to do with homeschool, I like to share it with you here. I do have a blog and Facebook and Instagram where I share other things like thankful living and frugal living, but on this channel, it's all things homeschool. So if that interests you, I would love for you to hit subscribe and stick around, and hit the like button if you like to see product reviews like the one I'm showing you today. Now, if you don't know, if you haven't been following me here, I am a member of the Timberdoodle blog team, and I love being part of Timberdoodle because they have hands down some of the most creative, most fun learning products around. And the thing I love about them is they put them all together in one place. I don't have to search the internet to find these things. They're all together in one place, and I love that about Timberdoodle. I will leave a link below to their website as well as to the direct product page for what I'm going to be showing you today, which is the Tenzi dice game and additional playing cards that you can get with it. When you purchase the Tenzi dice stack here, you'll get a little pamphlet inside. I opened it up ahead of time here for you. You'll get a little pamphlet You'll get a little pamphlet inside that has some directions for 8 different variations of the game, but you can optionally purchase on Timberdoodle's website a pack of cards that has 77 additional ways to play Tenzi. And if you're doing the math, if you do one a day, which only takes about 90 seconds to play around to this, if you do one a day, then you can get through like your whole semester and never play Tenzi the same way twice. Isn't that fun? But I wanted to show you just a few sample cards to let you know how the game works and what these variations are all about. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on the product and also how we plan to roll this into our homeschool. Now, before I hop into that, I want to let you know that because this was sent to me from Timberdoodle, I agreed to do a video all by itself so that the product maker could share this for other customers that were wondering about the product. But I will do an all-inclusive video of all my Timberdoodle things that I plan to use for this school year in a separate fun schooling video that I'll put out. So this will show up again in that video as well, but because this was sent to me, I like to give them their own specific product video because they were kind enough to give this to me for free to review. So when the product comes, it will be in this tube, and like I said, the little pamphlet will be inside. It comes with 4 stacks of different colored dice, this magenta color, yellow, black, and green, and it is meant for 2 to 4 players. Each player gets 10 of the dice cubes, and you have to roll all 10 dice, depending, unless you get one of the 5 dice variations. But for most of them, you're going to be rolling all 10 dice and following the directions on the card to determine what you have to roll in order to win. So the age range starts at 7 and up, but we played this together as a family with my then 4-year-old who's now turned 5. She kept up just fine. What we did have to do is we had to just take some time at the beginning before we started to really explain what it was we were trying to get, because she wasn't really sure what even and odd numbers were. She wasn't sure what it meant to get numbers that add up to 10, or something like that. So she was able to catch on fairly quickly, and we were able to modify the game a little bit to help her play with us. One thing we did to do that was we let her do her initial roll before us and look at her dice and decide what she was going to go for. If she was going for all of the same number, for instance, that's the basic Tenzi game, getting all 10 dice to be the same number. We would let her roll her first roll, and she would look at her dice and she would decide what number she was going to go for. And then as soon as she picked what number she was going to go for, me and my 9-year-old started rolling and playing. and she did very well, and she had a lot of fun. So even though it says ages 7 and up, I think if you make just a few slight modifications, you can bring in those younger kiddos as well, as long as they can recognize the numbers on the dice cube fairly quickly. And so that might be a skill that through playing this game they can develop even, which is great. So that's the basics of the game, the age range, the number of players, the basic objective of the game. Now let's talk about these cards. These are an optional add-on. You can get these from Timberdoodle's website as well. And the thing I love about these cards is it really gives the element of surprise. You never know what game you're going to get. When you pull this out, it's always a little bit different. And I love that there's so many, because you could really just do, like I said, one a day for a semester and really not get a duplicate. So just some of the examples, lefty, righty, and I'm sorry if that's appearing backwards, it looks like it is, but it says switch hands after each roll. Roll with your right hand, then roll the dice with your left hand. And so we're doing left and right, which again, for my little kindergartner, she is learning her left and right, so I can play with her and be on her team and help her do left and right. So again, I do think you can bring this down a few ages if there's some parental assistance there. But good practice with left and right. This one I really love. Farmsy. Make your favorite barnyard animal sound as you're rolling the dice. So I think that's really funny. Be the first to roll 5 different pairs. That's one of the variations that my kids really loved. And then you get these kinds of cards that you have to roll this pattern. So lots of different things. You never know what you're going to get. And I really love that they give this optional add-on, because there are, like I said, 8 variations that come with the dice stack. But I think this is, for me, this would be an essential, because we would go through those 8 variations pretty quickly, and we would probably have to take a break from the game and give it a rest and then come back to it. But because there are these additional cards available, this really makes it so we could play every day until my kids just don't want to play Tenzi anymore, and it wouldn't grow familiar, because there's just so many different variations of it. It wouldn't become boring to them, because it just is so many there's so many different objectives that they're going for. So how do I plan to use this? Well, I did tell you that I plan to do an entire video showing you all the different products from Timberdoodle that I am bringing into our homeschool time this year to bring fun and hands-on and all of that. This is going to be part of that for sure. We are going to have this as part of our Fun Friday time, where we just get out educational games and just start playing. But I have a couple other uses in mind for this, and I was really thinking when we started playing this that this could be a help to prevent some of the math meltdowns that we have around here. Does anybody else have math meltdowns? If you have a math meltdown in your home at least once a week, just say math meltdown in the comments below for a little solidarity, because we have that here, and my son is very, very good at math. He gets high marks. He does math mentally. You know, he takes to that very well. I just think he has somewhat of his mommy's perfectionism, and he's just really hard on himself when it comes to math. So I plan to do a couple things with this little Tenzi game. I plan to use this as kind of an icebreaker, or just a little lesson break during math time, because that is one of our meltdown subjects, okay? So I'm thinking of either starting the lesson with the Tenzi game, which again is only about 90 seconds, or letting him do the Tenzi game in the middle of the lesson. So I teach the lesson content, the concept, do a few examples with him, then we get out the Tenzi, he plays it, and then he does his math assignment. So he kind of has like a mid-lesson break there. The third option is to say, as soon as you're done with your math assignment, we will play some Tenzi together. So it's still kind of mathy. It does help your child develop strategy and mental math skills because there's a couple different like odds and evens, or pairs that add up to 10 or something like that. So there is some quickness with math facts being developed, and math, just general math knowledge and application, and you're developing the speed with that a little bit. So I still think it's developing a good math sense and math skill, but it's not really high on the computation level, if that makes sense. So it's not like doing 47 times 8. It's not doing something that's at the very top of his brain's level. It's just helping develop a little more strategy. And I don't know if math fluency is really a term. I know they use that in reading, but that same type of idea. I think it helps with that. So definitely thinking of using this in math time to prevent those math meltdowns. But I'm also considering using this as just a general start our day kind of thing. Wouldn't it be fun to gather everybody together for our daily game of Tenzi? And that just, number one, gets them coming out from wherever they've been, up in their room, finishing up making their bed or finishing their morning chores, whatever it is. And it just kind of gets everybody there. Okay, I got the Tenzi dice, meet me at the table. And it just is a good way to get everybody there. And like I said, because there's those 77 cards, you really could go through the whole school year and only see a card, 2 or 3 times, depending on if you truly play it every day. So I think that could be a great way to kind of get everybody happily arriving at the table to start homeschool for the day, knowing that we're going to start the day with this Tenzi game. The final thing that I think that we'll do with this game really has to do more with my daughter, my little kindergartner, and that's just like I said, that's developing some of those new math skills, the odds and evens, the adding to 10, the pairs, what is a pair, and that sort of thing. Helping her quickly memorize the numbers, or not memorize, quickly recognize the numbers in a dice pattern, and even creating some of my own versions of Tenzi that she can do to practice her math skills. So I do plan to use it as well with my kindergartner in her skill development, not so much her skill practice or preventing meltdowns, because she actually really loves math, but more so in skill development with her. So I really love it. I think it's a great little game that doesn't take up much space. That's why I really like it, because these two little things, you guys, could just set in somewhere. You could even really put these in a Ziploc baggie if you don't want to keep the tower. You could put this all in a Ziploc baggie together, maybe with the dice and the cards, and it would just slide in just about anywhere in a drawer, or if you have one of those Loctite crates that everybody has. I don't know, the bins that lock tight. I don't know what they're called, but the click something, I don't know. But they've got the little supply tray and your books underneath. This could go easily in one of those, and you could just take it with you. I think this would be a great travel game to take, because again, it's not like a big board game that takes up a lot of space. You could easily just stick this in the pocket of one of the seats, or in your glove box, and this could be a great game to take on the road with you. So when you stop at a rest stop and need something to do, or you go into a hotel room, and I know with us right now in this whole global situation we're in, a lot of things are shut down. And so when, if you do travel, if you do decide to go on vacation somewhere, a lot of the activities and amenities that the hotels are offering are just not there. So I'm finding that if we do go somewhere, we're going to have to bring some of our own entertainment. And this is a very light and easy thing to bring with you. And like I said, it's never the same game twice. You're playing all these different variations, and by the time you get back to card 1 after finishing card 77, the kids will think it was a new game. They probably won't remember it for a while. So I think this would be a great travel game as well to just keep with you. And then if you end up having a long wait at the doctor, or you end up having a long wait picking up your grocery order, you know, you could just play a couple rounds of Tenzi. So I think Timberdoodle once again has given me one that's going to stick around and be a family favorite in our home long after even we're done with school. I think that we'll play this game as adults. I think me and my husband will play this game even after the kids are gone. So it's kind of a fun thing to think about, having these fun memories with activities during homeschool and having them stick around a bit after school is done. So that's kind of a fun concept to think about, and I think that Timberdoodle really thinks about the whole family when they're picking their products. I think that so many games have such a narrow age range that they're aimed for, and so many of Timberdoodle's products really think of a wide family range, and so you really can create a family game collection that you have for decades to come. So I hope this review was helpful. I hope that I've given you some ideas of ways that you can use this in your home, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye, everyone.